Milo, great to see you, man. Welcome to Popternative.
Dude, thank you for having me.
It's really cool, right? Because I always feel like that journey of working on something that is based on things we've seen before, like the movies and the books. There's two ways you can look at it, right? You can kind of throw it away and just focus on the fact that this is a new series on USA Network, or you could really use it kind of as a textbook, as a guide for preparation. Which one was it for you specifically?
Oh, dude. I wanted to sort of pay my respects to the earlier source material, the Damon and Coppola, like those are huge shoulders to stand on top of. Grisham is such an incredible author, and so I honored those two pieces of work and read them and watched them and gave them an evening of thought, and then I threw them out and we stuck to the script.
So a little bit of both then. So your
A little
answer
bit of
is
both,
basically
buddy. I was right in the middle.
right down
I was right in the
I
middle.
love it. That's great. That was that was like basically like the best way to say both. You answered that.
Maybe I just said too many words. I could have just pulled in. One word answers only from now on, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. How do you balance working on something though? And I feel like a lot of, procedural dramas and law dramas are doing this now, where there are kind of sprinkles of hints of comedy, right? In these series, right? And I'm wondering, like, in terms of that script to screen journey, right? Like seeing those kind of elements in a lawyer drama, like, and then seeing it come to life on screen. What's that like for you specifically? Like that script to screen journey with that kind of like serious and some comedic aspects of it as well.
It's an adventure because when you're making something like that, I remember having a conversation with Michael very early on about the tone because I couldn't gauge it. I think we were by a grave. We were doing a scene by a grave, and I was doing a scene with PJ, and he was making me laugh. And I was like, dude, we're digging up. I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with Michael, and he said, when we make these things, we don't always know what the tone is going to be until we get into the edit. That's the third process of writing. You've got the script, and then we've got the process of filming, where the script changes sometimes and is malleable, or it's rigid and we stick to it. And then through the edit, which I've been fortunate enough to see a few episodes now, it can be completely different to what you had in mind. But that's part of what we do. Is I be as playful and as loose as I can be and give them as many options. So it was an adventure. It was a privilege to watch people like PJ work. I mean, I think he carries a lot of the humor and comedy of the show.
That guy's always causing trouble, isn't he?
Have you seen, how many episodes have you seen?
I've seen the first 3.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you get a sense of Pete. You know that guy. I don't need to tell you.
I got a sense of you too. You are fantastic in this series, man. Congratulations.
That's very kind. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's PJ Byrne, of course.
He's a hero of mine.
Oh no, it's so funny too, because that's like my next question. This cast is so good. You know what I mean? And there's like amazing up and comers like yourself and Robin, and then you have, Dan and Lana and Madison, like amazing. What was that like for you? Because it's one thing to kind of at some point your team's going to tell you who you're working with, but then it's another thing actually getting there, right? And working with everyone, so to speak.
Oh, dude, such a privilege. I mean, that for me, when people ask about the show, that's the first place I go, because it really is. We really do just have a team of incredible, creative hard hitters, and you have your John, who is a maverick and a pro and kind and humble and generous, and Lana, who is so open-hearted and has so much experience. Madison, who is so, somebody said about Maddie once to me that she was incapable of an untruthful moment, and for me that sums her up. I don't think I've ever seen her drop the ball ever. Like, she's incredible. So I know there's plenty of people I haven't mentioned, and Dan Fogler, I think, is probably one of my favorite people that I've ever worked with. That guy is crazy in all the best ways, and I was just a learning. So I wasn't there to learn. I was there to do a job, but I had the privilege of learning every day, dude. Every day.
The reason why I laugh is like I did the interview with Dan, PJ, and Robin before this, and that was, let me tell you, that was a time.
I'm sure, mad. I mean, yeah, probably best you don't publish that one, I think.
No, it was good. The energy was matched, right? Because I have this big energy.
Of course.
But
yeah.
It's also interesting to me that you mentioned like the learning experiences, because no matter whether you've been on a set one time, Milo, or 100 times, you're always going to learn something new. I feel like that's just going to happen regardless. What were some big learning experiences for you from a storytelling acting perspective with the Rainmaker? Because I'm sure there's a lot, but I'm sure there's one that kind of
Yeah,
stands
buddy.
out.
How much do you how long do you have? That's
You do a whole podcast.
we can
Should
go.
we make? Are we gonna make a new podcast?
I'll come in with
Milo's
you.
Rainmaker lessons. And
I'll-
it's like episode 1, 2, 3.
Dude, in Success, we're doing this plenty of seasons as well, so we can keep that going. Learning experience. Yeah, you know what? I pretty much worked. I mean, I had a couple of days off for over like 6 months, so I had the privilege of being in every day. And one of the things there is that the lessons that I learned, I got to practice every day as well. So I mean, when I was working with John, I remember one time he told me, he was like, just stay loose, man. He said, and he's like a dude, John. So he's there, you say like, John, tell me, like, give me something, bequeath some wisdom to me. And he kind of leans back and he kind of scries and he kind of goes, just be loose, just be loose. And like the truth in that was just, I mean, it's hard to even like express how much better I think a performance is when somebody is loose, relaxed. And that takes time sometimes. I mean, you know, it depends who you're working with. And so that was a huge lesson of mine, which translates to life, which is just relax, like tranquille, or just like breathe, and it's coming, and breathe.
Perfect segue to my next question. It's almost like you knew. It's almost like you know what I'm gonna ask, man. You're pro.
I got him here, bro. I got him here. No.
I did not give anyone that question. Abort. No, it's interesting because, you know, when you do something like this, you mentioned life and everything, right? And I feel like your character in this, you know, compared to others, is kind of lost. He's trying to figure things out, but there's kind of some episodes where I feel like he knows what he wants to do and like has it under control, and then some episodes he doesn't. Is it more fun or challenging to play these lost characters doing self-reflection? Because from the viewer perspective, they don't know they're lost, right? Which I find interesting.
Yeah. Like he didn't know. He got no damn idea.
He's got no clue.
He's on. Well, the thing about Rudy, I think, is that he's, you know, he has such a strong moral compass and no sense of the idea that his moral compass might be wrong. Yeah. You know, that actually he has the arrogance of youth, which misses the one component that it needs to shift on, which is the weight of experience. And he doesn't have that weight of experience. And, you know, that's fun to play to a certain extent because it breeds conflict with other characters like Bruiser and Leo, and I mean, even Deck to a certain extent, who have so much experience that, you know, they think they're right because they have the experience. I'm looking at them going, well, I don't want to end up like you. So I'm not following your experience. I'm doing my own thing, you know? And the answer, as always, is somewhere. It's going to be somewhere in the middle, and it's going to be some kind of like meeting. And whether that's head on or it becomes a harmonious exploration of a relationship, then that's remains to be seen.
I'm also a filmmaker as well, and I think about a lot of these things because, you know, it's interesting because I don't know about you, but at some point, like we were both, before we became storytellers, we were both fans of movies and TV, right? Like we were just like watching it. I feel like I watch things differently now that I like started like making things. Do you feel the same way too?
Yeah, I mean, definitely after this show, that changed my perspective because, you know, I was privileged to be brought on in kind of all capacities because I was in all the time. So I got to be a party a little bit to like conversations around edits and things that meant that I understood how an edit tells a story in the same way a script tells a story, and the difference between them. And so when I watch stuff, I don't know about you, if you feel the same way, but there's a sense of I'm constantly critical of things, or very complimentary of things that edit a certain way. I find that fascinating.
Overanalyzing, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, every day, baby.
Oh yeah, man. Again, we're gonna have like 3 podcasts, learning lessons, overanalyzing. But you know what? The Rainmaker on USA Network, and then they're gonna also be able to check out episodes on Peacock, which is so great. Congratulations, Milo. It was so great chatting with you, man. Thank you so much for your time, dude.
Buddy, so good to talk to you too.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, see you, man.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.